Hello everyone, I'm your Lore Keeper and welcome to the Lore Keeper's Show. Of course, if you are not new here, welcome back to the Lore Keeper's Show. As you can see, we have our little handy-dandy computer here because we are going to be talking about Stranger Things. Yes, indeed. The show is finally over, at least that's what we've been told, but you know.
Stranger Things on Netflix. This is our Star Wars.
Either way, there are a lot of connections between Stranger Things and D&D, as most people probably already know. And so, today I wanted to dive into something that many non-D&D players might not know. All of the monsters are named after monsters from D&D. And that is what we're going to be diving into today, looking at the truth behind the creatures in Stranger Things. One of the big things in Stranger Things is that they pull the names of the monsters from Dungeons & Dragons. But they change a lot of the looks in order to probably not deal with copyright, though eventually that didn't matter when monsters like Vecna came in because they had already made a book with D&D Beyond. But we'll get to that later. The main point of all of this is that these monsters are named after monsters that already exist. Starting with the Demogorgon. The Demogorgon in the show looks like this. A flower-mouthed creature that has many different razor-sharp teeth and this like gray skin. However, in Dungeons & Dragons, it looks more like this. A double-headed monkey creature with tentacle arms, and it's a very strong creature indeed. A Demogorgon is very powerful compared to this guy who is just a big old mouth with teeth and gets beaten up a lot. These guys are way stronger in D&D. I don't remember their CR rating, but it is crazy. Either way, then you have the next character, which is the Demodogs. The Demodogs are obviously the younger versions of the Demogorgons because they slowly morph into the Demogorgons. Demodogs are very similar to what we would call in D&D the Wretched. Now, they're not based off of the Wretched, they're more just Demodogs, which is younger versions of the Demogorgon. However, the Wretched are part of a group known as Sorrowsworn. And the Sorrowsworn you can learn about by clicking the card and watch a video all about the Sorrowsworn. But basically, the Wretched look like this, whereas Demodogs look like this. They kind of look similar. This is obviously not what Demodogs are based on, but the Wretched are the closest looking thing to them. Then you have Vecna. Now, you may be wondering, well, wait, Vecna's the big bad, you're forgetting one. I'll get there. Vecna looks like this in the show. However, in D&D, he looks more like this, and his backstory is entirely different. If you have not watched Season 5, then you don't really know his true backstory, but either way, the point is that in the show, he is just like Will, someone who was taken in by the Mind Flayer, which we'll get to in a second, and he is not similar in backstory to his D&D counterpart, who was more of this god-like being, which there's another video to check out Vecna's bull backstory in the card as well. But of course, now we're getting to the final boss of it all, the Mind Flayer. Mind Flayer is, in fact, the end boss in Stranger Things. We find out that he is the true villain of it all, and looks like this. This is what he looks like. Now, that is not the Mind Flayer from D&D. In fact, the Mind Flayer from D&D, this is a mind flayer in D&D. The classic robes with a squid-like head. You can also find them looking like this. One of my personal favorite D&D monsters is, in fact, the Mind Flayer, which is also why I have two. And that, my friends, is the truth behind all of the horrifying creatures that the Duffer Brothers created for their universe and then named after creatures that exist in D&D. Really hope that you guys enjoyed and that this video was interesting to you guys. I thought this was interesting. You guys can check out the links on the card, and if you do so, you will be able to check out some interesting videos, including the Sorrowsworn video that I talked about, the Vecna backstory video that I talked about, and if you have not watched Stranger Things Season 5, you can just watch it in 10 minutes. There's a whole video that describes it in 10 minutes. It's much better than the actual show season finale is. I think it should have ended at Season 3. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But with all of that in mind, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope this was helpful on your D&D learning adventures. And until next time, I hope you guys roll a natural 20. Goodbye!